And this leads me through the triangle now onto the sex hormones. So why is this important? Okay, so this is a diagram of the female cycle. Now, the female cycle is, we have three hormones as women. We have estrogen, which does all those things there, stimulates, so it's a stimulating hormone, it wakes us up. It's about ovulation, metabolism, it gives us energy, it gives us a libido, it's for mood, it protects our heart, and it's an insulin regulator. Remember insulin earlier? Important. Now, progesterone is our calming hormone. It calms us down, calm, calm, calm. It holds a pregnancy. It's fertility. It's a cycle regulator. It's for our mood. So, you know, when you've got that really bad PMS, like the week before you're going to bleed and you just want to kill everybody, that's actually an imbalance with progesterone. It causes bloating when it's imbalanced. It's, if we haven't got enough progesterone, we aren't going to sleep. It's really good for hair and skin when we've got the right amount of it. Fantastic for periods, you know, keeping our periods nice and regular. It's about bone density more so now, we know, than estrogen, and it also muscle mass. But this is a big one. It reduces inflammation. So progesterone is very overlooked when it comes to female hormones, and it's hugely important, especially when you think back to what I was just saying about that sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic, like not being able to calm down. Starting to see a little bit of a connection here. So then we also have testosterone. Now, testosterone is for libido. So you can see it spikes around week 2. So that's when we just start to look at everyone a little bit like, yeah, yum, I could go there. It gives us energy, hair and bone health, breast health, fertility, and also menstrual and vaginal health. So all three are hugely important. Now, when we're in menopause, so this is a little chart about peri to post-menopause. So this is focusing predominantly on estrogen, the connection of estrogen and progesterone. So what you can see is that once we end up fertile, estrogen and progesterone track. They should track at, you know, a certain ratio. But perimenopause is when progesterone falls off a cliff. And for a while, estrogen carries on as normal, then it starts to go haywire, and then it too starts to tail off. The important thing is this progesterone falling off a cliff. Now, this can happen very, very early on in, you know, perimenopause. This could literally be in our mid-30s. We start to just feel a little bit less confident. We're just not sleeping so well. We're a bit more anxious. These are all signs of progesterone starting to fall. Now, the problem we have is when I've suddenly got less progesterone to estrogen, I'm in something called estrogen dominance. I've got too much estrogen. It's actually a misnomer because it's too little progesterone. This is actually something that we are seeing not just in perimenopause now, we're seeing this in really young girls, and we're also seeing it in people on contraceptives of fertility, you know, of childbearing years. We're not in a good state, women in general, with the amount of progesterone that we've got in our body. Now, obviously, then as we start to go through menopause and estrogen literally goes haywire, that's when we're starting to really notice the hormone fluctuation. But predominantly, the medical model really focus on estrogen, and we really need to be talking about progesterone when it comes to women's health. And here's why. So as I mentioned, as we go through menopause, the ovaries stop making our estrogen and testosterone, and our adrenal glands take over. Okay, so they're making the primary source. Now, the adrenal glands make other hormones. So we've already talked about adrenaline and noradrenaline. And the other one that's interesting is aldosterone. Aldosterone's job is to regulate blood pressure and fluid balance in the body. And how many perimenopausal women are put on blood pressure medication and also fluid retention tablets, when we can actually start to look at it as an issue in our adrenal glands? That's interesting, isn't it? So the other hormone pathway. So this This model is called the pregnenolone steal. I don't like the name of it. I didn't name it. I actually think it should be called the progesterone steal, but we're going to come on to that. So in our adrenal glands, we use cholesterol, aka fat, which is why good fats are essential in a woman's food strategies, because we need fats to make our hormones. The cholesterol makes a hormone called pregnenolone. Now, pregnenolone is a precursor hormone, so it will, decide what it needs to make. And pregnenolone also is fantastic and has loads of benefits itself. So pregnenolone, let's go to the right, will go on to make DHEA, a delicious hormone. It's very anti-aging and very energizing. And it will go on to make testosterone and estrogen.